Since I've gotten in real estate, my focus has been heavy in Central Virginia, right? Which we'll just say Richmond, right? So I have always noticed that even residential, commercial side, people want to share and they want to help each other out. And it's more of like the abundance mindset versus the competitive mindset. What was your network like, your professional network like in Richmond?
Oh, my brother's a commercial broker.
Mm-hmm.
He does stuff that's larger size projects than I usually work on. But he's a very well-known and well-networked commercial broker in Richmond. So I leveraged his network a lot. Richmond's super interesting. Like in California, I did not know any other developer. I mean, I'd been there for a long time. And I knew one other developer.
Interesting.
At all. And Richmond's like, there's coffees where people get together and like...
Right.
There's like multiple guys who I can reach out to and be like, hey, I'd love to see this project. They're like, oh, yeah, let's tour it. I'd love to see your project. Right. It's a super cool, it doesn't feel competitive against each other. It feels much more synergistic, which is really unique. And that's probably a function of, I was in right outside of Oakland, really, huge metro area. This is a smaller community here, but it's cool. So it wasn't I didn't have a network, but it wasn't very hard to kind of break in here. People were pretty friendly and easy to get to know.
I was curious about that because, you go to California and you come back, like in my opinion, you need a network to be successful, some form of a network, right? Yeah. And so it's interesting to hear you say that about Richmond because since I've gotten in real estate, my focus has been heavy in Central Virginia, right? Which we'll just say Richmond, right? So I have always noticed that even residential, commercial side, people want to share and they want to help each other out. And it's more of like the abundance mindset versus the competitive mindset where it's like, oh, you're trying to invest in the same single family or commercial assets I am in Richmond. Cool. Let me show you what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome. Like maybe someday we'll work together. We can do some deals together or something like that. I've introduced developers to each other and then walked like job sites with them as they're getting to know each other. So like I've been in the middle of that as well.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to hear you say, like, I've always assumed that Central Virginia was special in that regard, but I've never like tested it. I've never went to other markets and seen how they operate.
I only have a couple markets, but it's definitely different than what I was used to. I'm always confused when people are able to invest from like multiple states away in a neighborhood. To me, it's like nothing is more local than understanding the neighborhoods you're investing in.
Right.
It's really hard to learn. So, like, coming back to Richmond, it was like, I got to relearn Richmond because I haven't lived here in 25 years. There's areas that were not even on the map that are now, like, the hot thing, and I got to understand that. And so you can't learn that from just Googling. You got to be on the street. You got to walk around, and you got to meet people and understand, like, what are you doing? How have you seen it change? Oh, you've been a part of, this revitalization of Manchester, Scott's Addition, like, what do you see the tailwinds as here? Stuff like that. So, it would be a lot. I don't know if it'd be harder somewhere else, but that definitely helped here.
We have investors that will look to buy $20, $30 million assets, and they've never invested in Richmond before. I will take them out to dinner, and they'll be like, we feel like you have a good team. We're willing to invest in this market. Yeah. And I'm like, over a dinner.
Yeah.
Like, to me, like obviously they've done a lot more research to get here, right?
You shouldn't think that. Yeah.
Right? But, like, it makes me happy to hear that. But, and again, obviously they've done a ton of research leading up to that dinner. It wasn't just like they just landed and were like, well, I guess, But I think largely for those investors, it's the team they can find on the ground. And we've had some investors say, if we wouldn't have met you, we would have moved on to a different market. But I still I don't know if I could personally do that because I've seen other deals in other states and I really prefer to stay where I'm familiar with, even though I know plenty of people go outside the state.
I'll stretch a little bit, but I got to follow the same process of trying to learn the area, trying to meet people and feel a level of confidence. I mean, especially with property managers, like you need someone who you're like, okay, I understand how they're set up. I understand what they see in the market. I understand their business model and what makes them successful and how does that align with me.
Right.
Like if you don't understand that stuff with broker, attorney, property manager, you don't know what you're walking into.